Safe and readily available drinking water is crucial to public health, but toxins linked to cancer could be contaminating supplies across the country. I'm Tisha Pell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. We're talking about PFAS, man-made toxins called forever chemicals, because they do not break down naturally. A 2023 federal study detected PFAS in nearly half of the nation's drinking water.
It's a health crisis dozens of North Georgia residents are suing over, claiming the city of Calhoun contaminated its own drinking water by dumping sewage with high concentrations of PFAS in fields near homes.
Investigative reporter Andy Perotti takes an in-depth look at what some are calling a potential environmental disaster.
Ever since I was a little kid, I have been writing.
Colleen Brooks combs through old newspapers.
It's one of my favorite players.
Where she contributed as a columnist in Calhoun, Georgia for more than 30 years.
I probably wrote 10,000 maybe.
Covering everything from romance,
Yes.
movies, and the weather.
On April 22nd, 1988, A Snow Lover's Lament.
Today, she's lamenting about another story making headlines, not as its author, but as an alleged victim of a potential environmental disaster. She and dozens of her neighbors filed a lawsuit claiming the city of Calhoun contaminated their drinking water with a cancer-causing toxin. According to the suit, the city spread 28,000 tons of sewage or sludge in fields near their homes with high concentrations of a chemical called PFAS, known as forever chemicals, seeping into their land and wells for more than 20 years. According to this city permit, one of the sludge fields used Colleen's home address.
I thought, wait a minute. You know, they can't do that. They didn't ask us. Nobody came up and knocked on my door and said, can we have permission to use your address for this sludge field that we're dumping out here? Oh, no. No, 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 no.
How did the toxin get into the sewage? The lawsuit claims the city allowed industrial wastewater from carpet manufacturers that use PFAS to flow into Calhoun's sewage treatment plant. The chemicals are then mixed with the sludge and later dumped on land along the Coosawattee River, where the city draws its drinking water.
They put sludge upriver, right next to a river, from where they pull the drinking water.
Heath Brooks is the lawyer who filed the lawsuit on behalf of the residents.
We've known this for as long as human beings have been here. You don't poop where you drink. And that's what the city did. They put it right next to their intakes. And so they polluted their own city.
The issue is personal for Heath. Colleen isn't just a client, she's his mother.
Did you ever think in your wildest dreams you'd be representing your own parents in a lawsuit?
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. No, I didn't. I didn't in my wildest nightmare think that I'd be representing my parents and my aunts and my uncle and the people that I grew up with along this road. They can't jump into a swimming pool because their swimming pools are filled with the water from a polluted well. They can't go out and use their wells to water their garden because their gardens are polluted.
The Environmental Protection Agency set PFAS limits in drinking water to 4 parts per trillion. Water samples taken by the attorney from 5 Calhoun homes show levels ranging from 70 parts per trillion to more than 8,000. Dr. David Andrews is with the Environmental Working Group and has years of experience in PFAS research. When you hear those numbers, what goes through your mind?
Those are shockingly high and incredibly concerning and indicate the extreme levels of contamination.
While the impact to residents' health is unclear, a nearby city could offer a glimpse of what's to come. Emory University scientists said they will test hundreds of residents for PFAS in Rome, Georgia. Its study in direct response to our investigations in 2023 that tested residents' blood, uncovering elevated levels of the toxin in nearly every participant. The city is about 20 miles south of Calhoun. Both cities rely on the same river system for its drinking water.
We didn't know that this issue existed before your study.
Emory University lead scientist Dr. Dana Barr.
In thinking back, it should have been very intuitive that there was going to be an issue because of all the carpet industry and the use of PFAS as stain repellents and water repellents and things like that. We just didn't really know about the issue before then.
Attorneys for Calhoun declined to comment on the lawsuit, but in court documents claim the city is a victim too, filing suit against carpet manufacturers that allegedly contaminated the river used for drinking water located upstream in Dalton, Georgia, a city that proudly proclaims itself the carpet capital of the world.
Well, it seems as if one of our government agencies has gone and done it again.
Someone had a gut feeling there was a potential problem years before anyone else.
Yeah, I remember that now.
It was Colleen. She wrote about it in this 2004 column titled Spreading It Around, after witnessing city trucks spray something on fields across from her home for years.
I've been told that this stuff has been treated, so it's okay. Treated with what? Chemicals? I wrote about it, and I questioned it.
20 years ago, you wrote about this.
Yeah, and I didn't know what it was.
Colleen says she spoke to someone at City Hall, but can't remember who.
They told me that it was perfectly safe and that it was good for the land. And I thought, dumping that smelly, not right stuff could not possibly be right for this land. What I really feel is betrayed.
In 2023, the city of Rome settled a multi-million-dollar lawsuit with many of the same carpet manufacturers and chemical producers. Its lawsuit also accused Dalton Utilities of discharging water laced with PFAS into river systems, providing drinking water for Rome and Calhoun. In Atlanta, I'm Andy Perotti.
PFAS-contaminated water threatens taps across the country, and our investigations have also taken us to Wilmington, North Carolina. In 2017, the city dealt with a similar problem. For decades, PFAS were dumped into a water source. To help understand the impact, hundreds of residents took part in a study to test their blood for the toxins. Doctors say those results help them to better monitor their health and catch potential illnesses early.
Without that information, without the blood testing and urine testing to see what individuals' levels are, you're just sort of driving blind.
To learn more about how PFAS could impact your health or your drinking water, head to investigatetv.com and search Forever Chemicals.